Good morning. My name is David Caffey, and it's my very great pleasure to introduce you to a dear friend of mine, that international singing star, Ron Lees. Now, Ron is not only a singing teacher, but he's also a vocal coach. So we're going to ask Ron a few questions about the correct way to sing so we can have longevity in our voices into the future without damaging vocal cords. But before I actually do that, I think we should get a little bit of background about Ron. He's got a lot of feathers in his cap, believe me. The list is very long. Allow me to just read this to you. Ron has to his credit at least 7 major operas that have been performed all over Australia, 50-odd years on television, variety shows, and over 400 stage shows. He has 32 best-selling record albums and CDs, and even performed with the great Pavarotti. I think this might be a good opportunity to introduce you to Ron and find out a little bit more about this Pavarotti incident. Sounds good to me. Good afternoon, Ron.
Good afternoon, David.
Actually, we said good afternoon. Actually, it's morning. So, but it is lovely to see you, Ron.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking this time to have a chat with us about the correct way to sing. I've got a lot of letters here from various people, some from as far away as Israel.
Yes.
And the questions that people would like you to answer. The first one is from Laura in Caulfield. What is the best method on YouTube that you agree with?
There is no such thing as a method, to be very short and blunt. There's a right way and a wrong way. Any person that comes up with a method or says they've got a method is usually after money.
Right.
Sorry, that's simple.
This is a letter here from Michael in Bandura. Can you explain vibrato, as people each seem to have a different idea as to what it is and when you can put it on?
I've heard this so many times on YouTube, it's just terrible. It's obscene. Vibrato is only when your voice is alive and free of tension. You cannot take it off, put it on, slip it in, slip it out. That's just absolute nonsense.
Right.
And yet they're getting away with it by telling the kids that now these days. Oh, you can put it on here, you can take it off there. You cannot. Ridiculous.
So if you're slightly nervous,
your voice might shake a little.
That's not vibrato.
But that's not vibrato. Vibrato is when your voice is alive and free. You can hear that oscillation between notes.
Yeah.
You can tell when a voice is free.
Yep, I understand.
And you can't when it's not either.
Yep, I understand. Okay, Angie from Wallen asks, what exactly is the edge of the voice, and is SLS singing correct? And perhaps you'd like to explain what SLS singing is.
I'll go backwards. SLS is incorrect, not right.
What does it stand for?
It means speech level singing. It means to keep your voice at a speech level. And what they do is just sit on your vocal cords. That's all they do. Not allowing your voice to go into your head, and it must go into your head. All voices must go into the head at some point. E flat, the first stave over middle C, they must go into the head. If they don't, they stay in the mouth.
Right.
In the mouth, they have to push.
I mean, what you just did sound very throaty.
Well, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
They sing on the throat and don't know they're doing it because they've got people. See, David, there's people, blind teachers these days, teaching blind students, and they both fall in the ditch. Mm. And then they go from teacher to teacher to teacher. Oh, he didn't improve me. I'll go somewhere else. Nobody knows what they're doing anymore. The old methods are gone. Mm. You know, the good singers like Barbara Streisand, Shirley Bassey, Lady Gaga is in that mix.
Really? Why?
Who's classically trained.
Is she really?
That's why she can sing all those types of pop songs.
Yeah, I mean, she's a great singer.
She's a good singer, yeah.
She is.
Yeah.
So I'll just chuck in a question of my own here, then, Ron. Who, in your opinion, is the greatest tenor of all time? Apart
from Caruso, who only sung to 100,000 people in his day, because don't forget there was no television. There was only, he sang on the railway stations and things like that. With Madame Melba, right? They did duets and stuff like that in the opera. The greatest tenor, apart from that, modern day times, was probably Mario Lanza, who was blessed with the greatest natural voice you've ever seen in your life. He could do anything with it, and he used to listen to Caruso's records as a kid in the gutter in his hometown, Philadelphia. I know because I did the Lanza story, I did his life story, and he learned to sing that way from listening to the records of Caruso.
Goodness me. Okay, then let's move on. Now, this is one from Israel. I don't know if it's the same person you were talking to last night. It may be a different person, but this is Asa from Israel, and he is asking, what exactly is falsetto?
Falsetto purely means in Italian falsetti. It means fake voice. Now, in Europe, if you try that in Europe, singing falsetto, they'll boo you off the stage. Right? But you see, today the young people have got hold of it, and they sing in one register from C to C. This is the reason why you see their faces changing colour when they go any higher. Because they're singing in the mouth, and their voice will not go into the head cavities. It will not go above the mouth's opening, so it stays in the mouth. So the more it stays in the mouth, the more they have to push to make it go higher. When they find they can't, falsetto comes in. That's how they do it.
A bit like yodeling.
It is yodeling, exactly. Yodel-o-doo, it's off the voice. They're only using the cricothyroids, the edges of the chords. That's all they're using. So they can't, the falsetto can't go into a full voice. It cannot develop. Whereas a true head voice can develop. Now, it sounds the same as falsetto, but you can make a bigger voice out of it.
Right.
You're using actually the core of your voice, right, with no volume. Whereas in falsetto, you're using only a yodeling sound.
Gregory from Sandringham has asked, legato. What exactly is legato?
You know, I'm surprised these kids of today don't know it. Legato simply means smooth singing.
Right.
When we teach the bel canto method in our little school, and the bel canto method simply means beautiful singing. That's all it means. Bel canto means beautiful singing, and that legato is what you've got to learn when you sing beautifully. You've got to learn to sing legato.
Yes. Yes.
Legato simply means smooth.
Smooth.
Expand on that, and the reason is, you've heard these kids today when they yoda and they go all over the place, all over the note, don't they? Have you heard that, right?
Yep.
It's because they cannot sing in a straight line. They're not smooth.
No.
They can't do it.
No. Now, Lucy from Warrandyte writes that she is a singer. She writes that she thinks a nice voice, but she has about 4 or 5 notes missing in the middle. And when she goes to those notes, there's nothing there, but it will come back again when she goes higher. What exactly is wrong there?
Okay. Lucy, if I may say, go and see your doctor. You've got nodules.
Oh, now what exactly are nodules?
Nodules are little lumps, little ulcers that form on your vocal cords after excessive use. Once again, force. You've got to be able to sing in the head. You've got to be able to, in short, you've got to be able to use head resonance and not push. Right? When you speak, you don't force, do you?
No.
You just speak.
Sure.
Right? So when you speak, that's exactly how you've got to sing. Now, the SLS, speech level singing, tried to say that, that's the way to do it. No, it's not. Because it means you're forcing your vocal cords to keep your voice down low as in a speaking voice.
Right.
But what they don't realise is it's in the mouth. It stays there. It can't move. But see a doctor, Lucy, because you've got nodules.
And a question here from Alex from Sydney. And Alex has asked, what is tremolo or wobble in the voice?
That's excessive oscillation of the soft palate and the tongue. Pushing down until it becomes a tremolo. Then it becomes a wobble. Yeah. Excessive use, and you'll see that when they're doing that for a long period of time, you'll see this.
the head bob. So
The neck rocks to and fro.
yeah,
That's what happens.
with correct training, like you give at your school.
Your voice will go into your head and it won't go anywhere near your throat. Your throat must not participate in the sound.
Right. And yet it's strange because that's where it's coming from.
It comes from your vocal cords themselves, yes, but you see, your vocal cords, when we speak, we don't feel anything, do we, except that tiny little bit of something you feel when you speak that you can't quite place where it is, but it's here somewhere. That's your vocal cords elongating.
Stretching.
Stretching, yeah, right? And the higher you go, the shorter they become.
Right.
So if you're going high, your voice goes like a pinnacle, like this, it goes like a pyramid, right? So if your voice is too thick going up, which they try to push down to make it, when they're pushing down to keep it strong, which they think is, they believe it's stronger, it's not.
No.
They push and push and push until the vocal cords just thicken, 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 and then crack. So they can't sing without push. In the finish, they can't sing without push.
And a question here from Janice in Toowoomba. Is pushing down wrong in any form on the diaphragm?
Unequivocally, in any way, shape or form, the answer is no. Right. You've got to sing with resonance, not push. That resonance must develop. When you're learning, as I spoke to a guy in Israel yesterday on Facebook, you've got to be able to make a chest voice normally without digging, just normal when you speak, right? As you go higher and higher and higher, your voice must go further and further and further up into your head. And as it does, your voice pinnacles like this. It gets thinner on the top to you, but out there the resonance is working and it's stronger out there. So in other words, in the finish, your head voice becomes stronger than your chest voice.
With all this vibration going on in your head, do you ever get a headache?
Yes. There are certain yes, absolutely. Certain times it gets to the right place, it'll give you a skull ache, yeah. And you'll feel like fainting sometimes.
Goodness me.
Because it's right in the bell of your head.
Or feel giddy.
You'll only get giddy when you're very deep breathing for maybe 5, 10, 15 or 20 times because it's a phenomenon. Because you're taking so much oxygen into your body and you're not used to it. Do you realise how many people can't take a deep breath? Half the street. 3/4 of the street, 9 people out of 10 cannot take a deep breath. They take enough to keep them on their feet.
Yes. Ron is now going to give us a demonstration of the best way to breathe for the best results in vocalisation.
Now, here's the way to breathe. First off, I'll show you the incorrect ways, okay? Raising the chest and the shoulders. You have to push the sound out. You have to push it out because your ribs can't hold. You cannot hold your breath very long, so therefore you have to push out. Now in doing so, your vocal cords get flooded with air. Ha! And you've got to keep on doing that and push harder and harder and harder as you go. That is out. The second way is abdominal breathing. Pushing the belly out. Now, a lot of women are taught to do this. Absolutely wrong. With a man, it's bad. With a woman, it's criminal because they can hurt themselves in particular places if they push down on that. Now, what they do is they teach the men to breathe in and the women, like so, into the belly and then sit on it, as in the toilet or a lady going into labour. That is absolutely wrong. You cannot sing that way. It means just that you're forcing, and you've got to force the higher you go, and it's rather like putting petrol on a fire that's already got too much petrol already. So you cannot do it that way, okay? The third way, and the correct way, is the diaphragm to go down to its maximum depth, the ribs go left and right, and that's how you inhale, like so. Watch. Now, you can hold that because you're not going to press down on it. So it's held, And then gradually the ribs go in like so, sideways, and the air is pressuring in sideways, and the air from the diaphragm is coming up pressuring underneath. So you've got air going like this underneath you and air going like this. 3 times, 3 ways, both ribs and underneath. That is the support. That's exactly how you speak. You do not have to push to support anything. It's purely a matter of breathe and slowly release. And a good way to practice is to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20, and so on. Another exercise you can do is put your hands in front of you, shoulder width. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And you'll notice you'll say the alphabet right through. You must practice that every day. Practice your counting up to 70, which is a good lung, and practice this way for lower here. So once you've got your shoulders out, your arms out like this, you'll feel the air fill round the diaphragm and rib area. That's what you've got to do. Now, we're going to demonstrate a couple of things. Firstly, something more classical in a very high key, Gounod's Ave Maria, and then a bit of Billy Joel and a bit of Elvis Presley. Okay? Just to show you that you can do anything you like with your voice when it's trained enough and properly. Okay? Now, as I told you earlier, you don't need to push anything. All you do is sing this as you would speak it, but you use your mind to help you with the power and to help you with the support. Support is not pushing down. Support is just holding and letting the breath take up the amount of breath it wants to for that particular note. So if it's a low note, it doesn't take up much. If it's a high note, it takes up much more. Okay, here we go. Okay, Billy Joel. Don't go changing to try and please me. You never let me down before. Don't imagine you're too familiar and I don't see you anymore. I want you just the way you are. You see, there's no need to scream anything. Okay? A bit of Elvis Presley to finish. Love me tender, love me sweet, never let me go. You have made my life complete, and I love you so. Love me tender, love me true, all my dreams fulfill. For my darling, was showing you there was legato, smooth singing, in all those things. But the point is, you have to be able to get the breath correctly. You have to be able not to push, to resist the urge to push, because all you'll do is ruin yourself. And you must be able to attend decent lessons with a decent teacher who can show you the right way to do things. Okay? Just on that particular note, we are engaging now 10 extra students, 10 extra pupils who want to start our courses. We're at the Blue Note College of Music, 13 Wells Street, Frankston. It'll be on the screen for you to see. And we'd like, if you want to learn properly, give us a call and we can see if we can fit you in and give you a decent schooling of voice. Thanks very much for watching and hope you've enjoyed our little show. Thank you.